although what I say, you know, she'll give her 2p and whatever, and you don't have to take it and stuff like that. So even with me, I'm like, the fact that obviously speaking to family and friends and stuff is lovely. And do you know what I mean? Having Joe there to speak to. But sometimes as well, I don't like burdening them with a lot of things. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's like, let me tell someone that number one, they get paid to, it's their job. And also they have the professional like expertise and also ways in which I can deal with whatever I'm going through.
To navigate through that emotion.
Yeah, literally. Because a lot of the time it's like, I'll feel like crap at the beginning that I would even want to cancel, but I'm like, no, this is why I've got it, because I need it and it's going to help me. And at the end, I'm like, right, I'm changed. I'm like a different person within 50 minutes. It's not even an hour session. But I love the fact that I did it, because now I can literally go through my week even, and I can just have such a different perspective, and I feel so different. So I feel like black people as well, we don't tend to lean into therapy because maybe it's the shame, maybe it's the judgment of what other people may think, maybe, and you know, like black people are quite secretive as well, I feel like. So we don't like necessarily speaking to people that don't know us. But I feel like if you can tell somebody, or a lot of people have friends that don't necessarily give them the best advice, or people that just talk out their business, so why not go to a professional that can actually help you? Like, I think therapy is so needed in the black community.
100%.
So speaking about love, do you have a definition of what love is?
You know, the Bible says love is kind. Love is patient.
Love is sweet.
Love is sweet. For me, I think love is unconditional.
100%.
That's the only thing.
Yeah.
You can dislike somebody, but love, you know, I can love you and dislike you.
Yeah.
I can love you and like you.
True.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The only thing that doesn't change is the love.
Yeah. Do you feel like you can love and hate someone at the same time? Is that
I
a thing?
don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah, because when I hear people say, oh, I love him, but I hate him, I'm just like, how can you love and hate? Like, I've heard women say, oh, I love him and hate him at the same time.
I think you can dislike the person, but I don't think you can start loving the person.
That's a bit weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, love is definitely unconditional. And sorry, you were saying...
Yeah, no, it's unconditional. It's loyal. No matter what.
Yeah.
You know? That's how I view it, because at the end of the day, like I've seen people who maybe even fell, let's say were married, right, broke up, got divorced, but the partners are still making sure that they're both good. Based on the fact that we loved each other at some point,
and we had, we had a family. We made that commitment. We did vows. You know,
it's taking that situation seriously.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, for me, I feel like love is unconditional. I feel like love is loyal. And I feel like I think with the whole concept of unconditional, that's where it really fits, because we all change within our relationships with people.
Yeah.
Even let's not even talk about marriage, like even in friendships.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Whereby for me, some of my friendships have gone off and maybe, I don't know, moved to other countries or got married, and just like yourself, got married, and their situation changes. They can't be the same person with me anymore. I can't have the same accessibility. That's the word. They can't be available to me in the same way.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And now I've viewed some people, and this is something I completely understand, because it takes a lot of self-awareness to accept it.
Yeah.
And I've seen some people who can't take that change from their friend, if you know what I mean.
It's hard for them, isn't it?
For them, that person's not as accessible to me. This person's not as available to me. This person, when we want to do things, is bringing up their other family. God damn it, these people I was there before them. You know what I mean?
It's always I was there before them.
I was there before them.
Yeah.
And for me, I suppose in love, you learn to understand that that's now that person's season.
Yeah, that's true.
And just because the situation has changed a little bit or a lot, I have to love them in who they are now.
Yeah, exactly.
If you know what I mean.
100%.
I might not like that they're not accessible to me anymore. I might not like that they're not as available to me anymore.
Yeah.
But I love them, and I love that this is their decision. So let's do this. Let's walk through it.
And I'm sure they still can find time for you, hopefully. But I think even with that as well,
it's the transition. It's difficult.
It's the transition, yeah. And also, I think a lot of people. What do you think about love versus attachment to people?
Because people can be in love and not really attached.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, I love you.
And I feel like people can mistaken love for attachment as well.
It's true.
And I feel like that's probably why a lot of couples stay together, because they're attached to that person. Not saying that they don't love that person, but the attachment is way stronger than the actual love itself. So that's why there's probably a lot of toxic relationships and stuff. And because sometimes I feel like if someone loves someone, right, even though everyone has their liberty to feel how they feel within a relationship when things happen, that's totally fine. But my thing is, even through the love, they couldn't love themselves through, do you know what I mean, whatever it is that's going on, because things happen in relationships or whatever. But even just not even man and wife, but even friends or whatever it is. But my thing is, yeah, a lot of people are attached to their counterpart. That's probably why they're so, like, obviously when someone has a friend and they get married and stuff, that's why it's probably so hard for them to
detach,
to detach
or
and
understand,
accept it.
yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, that makes sense. So for you, when you do get married, do you know how you'd want to be loved by your future husband?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be very honest with you, and this is gonna sound really wild.
Yeah.
One thing I've always understood is, and I used to say this as a kid. Oh my gosh, it's so wild. I said, I will always want a man who works hard.
Yeah.
Because, and I think I've psychologically told myself that so much, that I understood that by wanting a man who works hard, I'm not gonna be around that man who works hard. So then
he's not gonna have time for you because he's working hard.
He's working hard.
Like you wanted.
Basically that. So, but the thing is, that's the reality. And the thing is, I'm glad that it's taken so long for me to kind of want to settle down, because I understand that reality. Then I wouldn't have.
Okay, yeah.
I wanted a provider, and because at the end of the day, like, I wanted a man who works hard. I wanted a man who's a provider. I wanted a man who keep me stable. Yeah. But the reality of what that might look like is where, you know, as an adult, I now understand. And even that, I'm sure I don't understand until I'm in it. Yeah. But that's how I wanted my man to be loyal to me. I wanted my husband literally to hold me up on a pedestal. Like I said, that's how my dad made me believe. That's what you are. You're precious. Your man puts you on a pedestal. They make sure you're good. And just to be loyal to us and our family. You know, I'll go into something a little. How can I say this? I've seen different relationships, even from when I was young, including my dad. And I knew that there's certain things that come with marriage. However, the one thing I wanted is, if it's my partner, he understands this is the center. These are the things, if they're breaking down, you just need to make sure our circle is doing okay. Because we can always build up these other things, these external things. Whereas in some relationships, I've seen the man focus on external and neglect the family, his family. That's where we'll always have a problem. You don't neglect us.
No, 100%.
No matter what, we come first. You know, 100%. Then the rest can come in. Do you know what I mean?
That's how it's supposed to be, though, isn't it?
But
to be honest,
is that how it always is?
No,
exactly.
Not everything is
and that's the reality. Do you know exactly? So that's all I've ever always wanted from young. I just always wanted a partner who's focused on us. That doesn't mean I'm saying he doesn't have a life, or whatever. But if other things are breaking down, you make sure we don't break down.
No,
by
that's true.
Force. That's your job. That's our job. We don't break down. Do you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, we're all we got. That's my mentality. Like, when I am married, I want my man to have that mindset. Where we've got us. We're a team. Do you know what I mean?
That shows love in a lot of ways as well, to be honest. So how do you show love to, like, your friends and the people around you?
I suppose my perspective of how I show love is just always being available. But when you really think about it, that's not always going to be the case. So availability will probably look different. Because I'm physically available now.
Yeah.
And I've been physically available, but does that might not be the case in the future.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Exactly.
Might be financially available, but I'm always emotionally available. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's availability. I'm always available to my friends.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm always very supportive.
Yeah.
To my friends, and by that I don't mean always like openly happy-go-lucky with my friends, but I'm always loving and understanding in whatever situation they're going through. I don't feel like I try not to be the friend that expects my friend to do what I want them to do.
Okay.
As a friend, I expect to support them in whatever it is they want to do, because it's their life. Do you know what I mean? My only job is to stand by that and support them through it.
Yeah, no, definitely. I've definitely seen that, so I know that's true. Yeah.
It ain't no lies around here.
I know, innit? No, but 100%, I get what you mean, because sometimes it's not necessarily, people have a lot of expectations, and expectations can come with how, you know, you feel like, oh, that person should love you. Well, really, they might not even have the capacity to love you that way. Even though they're your friend, you might, you know, want so much more, and it's just not available from them. So talking about the dating experience.
Gosh, darling.
I know you have your career, because you out here, you know, leveling up in your job, in your career and that, and you're busy.
I'm busy.
Sometimes I feel like, do you live at work? Because you know, you work. Hope work works. No, but I love your dedication to your job, because you've won awards at work. I think that's so amazing. They've recognised your good work and things like that. So how do you find time to date? Because I know when the weekend is like hope time.
I'm tired.
You're tired.
No, I'm not. I'll be very honest with you. It's not been easy. It's really not been easy. And I think now, I think when you are very ambitious as a woman, when you're quite ambitious, you put that on a pedestal and realize, hold on a minute, who's gonna have all this money, or what am I doing this for? Do you know what I mean? So no, it's difficult, because, and then on top of that, one of the reasons I would say, I never really invested so much in dating, is because a lot of them were failing. You know, so when I'm talking about investment, I'm looking at my ambition. I can see the progress that I'm making for myself. Whereas in the dating, I'm like, I don't see a progress. So I wasn't focused on dating. So I would let my dates go, or if somebody wants to see me, or for instance, if somebody calls me after work that I'm actually dating and I'm tired, I'm not picking up. But I'm tired all day, every day. So imagine the situation. Communication's going down. You know, they're thinking I'm probably doing my own madness, when really I'm tired. I don't want to talk to anyone. Leave me alone. But I'm not open enough to that person to say, this is my situation, you know? So yeah, it was difficult. Weekends I could do. There's even times when I try to incorporate days within my work days, like maybe say after work. But then I'll be so tired in the morning, and then I'm like, I could have been in bed by that time. Where's this person a month or two later? Nowhere to be seen. God. So why didn't I just go home after work and go to bed? Do you know what I mean?
No, 100%.
That has been an issue more than anything. But yeah, you just keep going and just keep hoping for the best, really. But
you definitely have a better work-life balance now.
I've had to, once I qualified and things weren't so turmoil and it became more stable career-wise, I, for some reason, I started focusing on actually settling down with somebody, because I want to have a life with someone. I want to share this with somebody, and I want someone to share the same with me. And I could honestly say partially why maybe psychologically I waited till now to kind of focus on that is, one, because I wanted to to add something to my relationship.
Okay.
And remember before when I said learning that hope's enough and it's taken me this long, I didn't realize I didn't need to have a career in place and all this money.
Exactly.
Well, I'm not saying I do, because I'm still working on the money, but you get what I didn't realize. I didn't have to be this way stable. I actually had to be mentally and emotionally stable.
That's way more important. And I feel like that's where a lot of women, and I'm going to say make that mistake, because even though career is important, I'm not saying it's not, but working on yourself first and foremost before you go into the dating scene or finding your husband is way more important. Do you get what I'm saying?
100.
So now you know that you're enough, and you probably would have missed a lot of guys that could have been a potential for you. But obviously you're working on your career, and that's not a bad thing, because you like, when we used to speak about it, I'm like, Hope is going full force with her career. Like, you know where you want to get to. But obviously that's because your goal was, I need this before I get this kind of thing. Because that's what will kind of lead me to that and make that worth it at the time, if you get what I'm saying. But yeah, like...
Because I'm still not where when I was a kid, I was potentially expecting to be before I settle down, if you get what I mean. Yeah. However, mentally and emotionally... I've grown to a certain level where I realise that's actually not important, because I could be in my 60s, 70s and I get the target that I want.
Can you imagine?
So then I'm like, I don't want to go into it.
But then you'll be
with my wrinkles
on the bench. You know that meme on the bench?
Literally.
The old
that's when whose son am I going to attract?
Oh my God,
with my 60-year-old self and wrinkles dropping down.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
No, thanks.
And also what I realised as well is, again, to do with the emotional and mental stability, is the fact that when you're chasing just a career, your ego is the forefront. Doesn't matter who you are. Your ego is not just career. I'm talking about if you're chasing money, you're ambitious, entrepreneur, whatever. Your ego is at the forefront. My ego is something at work. I have to always get yourself together, girl.
Okay.
Because realistically, that's not what is expected in my relationship. For my relationship to work, my ego has to be the last thing on the plate.
100%.
If you know what I mean. And that's something I've learned to understand. It's literally my own security. Like, no matter what. What happens if the career... Look at the pandemic. So many people lost jobs.
Exactly.
Does that mean I'm not me?
Yeah.
Because then I'm coming to bring problems to my partner because I wasn't emotionally and mentally stable first.
Exactly, which should always come first.
Exactly.
But I feel like with women, when it comes to like career and them wanting to find a man, for a man, I've learned career doesn't even really matter like that.
No.
And when I learned that, I was like, okay, cool. But like, I think as long as you're... As a woman, as long as you're educated, like, and you just don't chat rubbish or whatever, like, you know, you're talking about, you're self-aware, that, I think for a man, there's so many more things that matter to them than what women think.
100%. That's something I've learned as well. Yeah. Because remember in the beginning when I said to you, I would look at this about myself and write all these positive things about myself. And I look back at myself and I was like, okay, so how comes you have not, if you're this great... Yeah. Now, why nobody snatched you up? You know what I mean? Like, you know what?
You're putting that foot forward, though, isn't it?
No, but it wasn't that. It's because, how can I say this? It's the things that I basically held on as important. Career. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? My ambition.
They weren't important.
That's not what's coming in. It's me caring for another person. Yeah. It's me understanding another person. Yeah. It's me, do you know what I mean? Accepting another person. Yeah. It's not the career things, but it's not the fact that I can wake up in the morning and go to a situation I don't want to make money or go into the gym because I don't want. No, it's not that stuff. Yeah, it's the caring stuff. It's the understanding stuff. It's the sensitive stuff. Exactly. Do you know what I mean?
The things that make you a woman, essentially.
Basically,
because obviously the man's come in this situation, him and as a man, you can't have the man and then the woman trying to be like the man in the relationship. As well. It don't make no sense.
Because then we compete. And I've found that a lot, like where people I'm dating or people I'm seeing, we're competing. I don't even clock it. I don't even clock it that I'm coming in with my bravado, like, this is what I want to be making. After a while, they're feeling some type of way. Okay. Do you know what I mean?
Is it the intimidation you think as well?
I don't. Do you know